I received an email this week from a parent who was at a loss at what to say to their child in the face of the Texas shooting this past week that left 19 at an elementary school dead. This comes after a mass shooting at a grocery store in Buffalo and a mass shooting at a Taiwanese church in California. If you're not safe at school, shopping for groceries, or even at church, then where is a safe place to take refuge? How are we to comfort our children and even ourselves? Where is the safe place? Why is this happening, and how do you make it stop? What are we supposed to do in the face of such uncertainties? If you're wanting an answer that will bring an end to violence once and for all, and if this were a human problem, then we could make the necessary corrections ourselves. But the anger and the violence does not stem from the bad choices of people, as if given enough correction and thought, training, and even love, we could overcome such bad choices. No, our condition is beyond a human fix, because our issue is with God. Our very nature is bent against loving Him and following in His way of love. We are the problem in the world. Each of us, not just a few bad eggs. We are not safe with each other because we do not love each other as we demand to be loved ourselves. Even at our best, and what could be better than living in the paradise of the Garden of Eden without sin? Even so, we still chose death over life. We chose ourselves over God and over each other. The fix to this hell-bent direction in us will have to come from the outside. The cross of Jesus is not a human fix, but a divine intervention. We are not reformed, but taken into death with Jesus and brought into new life with Him in His resurrection. We aren't left to follow our hearts or to do what we think is best, but the Holy Spirit comes and dwells in us and leads us in a life of faith and love for God and for one another. The hope for this world isn't that we finally have an answer that ends the violence and senseless death. No, the hope of the world is Jesus, who leads us out of death into life. So what do we tell our children in the face of senseless violence? What comfort do we find for ourselves? There is only hand-wringing for those who hope to solve the problems once and for all, that they may never happen again. But there is true solace and real comfort for those who belong to Jesus. For with Him there is justice and a righting to all of the wrongs that have been perpetrated by men and women and children and adults. He is coming again to judge the living and the dead, and when He does, He will right the wrongs once and for all, so that never again there will be horrors that pass before us in awful succession. When He comes, these words of John's revelation will be reality, where in chapter 21, John wrote, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and He will dwell with them. They will be His people, and God Himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." And as His people, we have more than just hope to come. We have hope today, even for this awful day. For as Martin Luther wrote in his hymn, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God," the third stanza writes, "Though devils all the world should fill, all eager to devour us, we tremble not, we fear no ill, they shall not overpower us. And in the fourth stanza he wrote, "And take they our life, goods, fame, child, and wife. Though these all be gone, our victory has been won. The kingdom ours remaineth." Just as the disciples were in peril, as the wind and waves crashed against the boat in the middle of the storm at sea in Galilee, so were they also completely safe. For if the boat were to go down, they were still with Jesus, and he will either command the wind and waves to stop, or he will bring them to a better land in the life hereafter. That is the reason that we can have hope, even if it is our child who has been gunned down. For our baptized child is with Jesus. He is the safe place for us on earth and for all eternity. So our response to shootings is to bring into this world the wisdom and the goodness of God that we have come to know in Jesus, and to use that wisdom and goodness to do what can be done in this broken world, knowing that we can't fix the world, but we do know the one who can make it better. We point people to him, and not hopelessly bickering with one another, not finger-pointing or blaming or presenting false solutions. We comfort the bereaved and speak of him who is the resurrection and the life. And what then do we tell our children? We tell them that we are in the boat with Jesus. The wind and waves may crash against us, but we are safe with him in life and in death. I also want to share with you a reminder that on June 4th, we will be celebrating 20 years of ministry at our Maple campus and our Open Arms Child Development Center. For 20 years, we have been telling the story of Jesus, how we are safe in the boat with him, whether we live or whether we die. And on that June 4th day, we are going to have a big celebration with food trucks and face painters and games for the kids, drawings, a tree planting ceremony to honor those who have died. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to start at 11 in the morning. It's going to go till 5 p.m. If you come late in the afternoon, you could even stay for worship. It starts at 5:30. Either way, I hope to see you all this weekend, Memorial Weekend, as we celebrate and give thanks to God for those who have fought for our country, and we memorialize them, we remember them. Hope to see you this weekend in worship.